Welcome to part 1 of Fascinating Birds. This video will help you to identify common birds seen in the Washington, D.C. area and in many other places in the eastern United States. American robins are common and easy to see. They have a gray back and a brownish-orange chest. Robins are in the thrush family. They often feed on lawns and other patches of grass looking for earthworms and insects. Some of the robins you see stay in our area all year. Others arrive in the spring after spending the winter in warmer places. Carolina chickadees get their name from their call, which sounds like chickadee-dee-dee. They are tiny birds who are gray above and white below. Their most noticeable feature is the black cap on their head. Carolina chickadees stay in our area all year. You frequently see them visiting bird feeders. They nest in holes in trees, which are called cavities, the same word that is used for the holes in people's teeth. Tufted titmice are small birds who are in the same family as chickadees. They are gray on their back and white below, with some reddish-brown feathers on their sides. The feathers on their head come to a point, which is called a crest. Like the chickadees, they stay in our area all year, visit bird feeders, and nest in tree cavities. In the spring, if you put out strands of hair or yarn, titmice will often use them when building their nests. The northern cardinal is the state bird of Virginia, which is why a picture of a cardinal is on road signs that say, "Welcome to Virginia." The male has red feathers. The female's feathers are light brown. Like the titmouse, cardinals have a crest. If you get behind a cardinal, you sometimes can see the crest raised, which looks as if the cardinal has just seen something scary. Cardinals stay in our area all year, and they frequently visit bird feeders. They use their big heavy bill to crush seeds. Carolina wrens are about 5½ inches long. For such a small bird, their song is very loud and can be heard from far away. Both the males and the females sing. Carolina wrens stay in our area all year, and a male and female will often sing loudly in the place they claim as their territory. The songs warn other Carolina wrens to stay away. House wrens fly to warmer places in the south for the winter. They start to arrive back in our area toward the end of April in order to find a place to build a nest and raise a family. Sometimes they will come back to the same place they were in the year before. They are called house wrens because they nest near people's houses. Many house wrens nest in little wooden boxes that people put out especially for them. Ruby-crowned kinglets are among the smallest birds in our area. These little green birds move very quickly and flick their wings a lot. The males have a bright red crown, which they usually keep hidden, but they sometimes flash it when they are excited. The females do not have a red crown. Ruby-crowned kinglets eat insects and spiders with their tiny bill, but they sometimes visit feeders. Unlike the house wrens who nest in our area but spend the winter elsewhere, ruby-crowned kinglets are more likely to be seen in the winter and spring before they go elsewhere to nest. Ruby-throated hummingbirds are the tiniest birds to visit our area. They frequently come to feeders with sugar water that people put out especially for them. They also drink nectar from flowers and eat small insects. Hummingbirds are the only birds capable of hovering, which means flying without moving forward, and the only birds who can fly backwards. They are called hummingbirds because of the humming sound made by their wings. Ruby-throated hummingbirds have a green back. The male's throat looks ruby red when it is pointed toward the sun, but black when not facing the sun. The throat of the female is white. Ruby-throated hummingbirds nest in our area. When they finish nesting, they fly south to their winter home. Northern mockingbirds are best known for their ability to copy or mimic the songs of other types of birds. They can sing the songs of many of the birds in our area. Singing a lot of different songs might help a male to find a female. Mockingbirds repeat each of the songs 3 to 5 times before moving on to the next one. Some mockingbirds will sing all night. These are usually males who have not found a female partner. When hunting for insects, mockingbirds sometimes flash the white patches on their wings, which might startle an insect and make it easier to catch. Gray catbirds are in the same family as mockingbirds. Their call sounds like a cat, which is how they get their name. They are friendly and trusting birds, and if you are quiet and stand very still, you sometimes can get close to one. Catbirds are gray with a black cap and some brown feathers under the tail. They fly south for the winter and return north to our area to nest. Many catbirds and other kinds of birds are killed by cats who roam loose, which is why if you have a cat, you should always keep it inside. American crows are large black birds who stay in our area all year. The males and females look alike. Crows are among the smartest birds in the world. They sometimes use tools and can solve puzzles in order to get food. Large flocks of them sometimes gather in roosting areas late in the afternoon and then perch there all night. You sometimes can see one of their large nests high in a tree. Blue jays are in the same family as crows. They are large birds who are blue on the back and white underneath. They have a big blue crest on their head. Jays are the only birds whose name is a letter of the alphabet. Blue jays can be very loud, and they make a variety of sounds. They are capable of imitating the calls of some hawks. Blue jays stay in our area all year, and they sometimes visit bird feeders and chase away smaller birds. Downy woodpeckers are black and white and frequently visit bird feeders. The male has a red spot on the back of his head, but the female downy woodpecker does not. They are the smallest woodpecker in our area, and they nest in tree cavities. Woodpeckers bang their bill on trees looking for insects. They do not get a headache because they have special cushioning to protect their head. Many people put out little cages containing blocks of fat called suet, and woodpeckers and other birds perch on the cage to eat the suet. Red-bellied woodpeckers commonly come to bird feeders. They're easy to identify because of the red on their head and their black and white striped back. The male has red on the top of his head, and the female has red only on the back of her head. Red-bellied woodpeckers have reddish feathers on their belly, but you don't often see these feathers because the belly is usually up against the tree. Both the downy and red-bellied woodpeckers stay in our area all year. Whitebreasted nuthatches are round little birds who look for insects on tree trunks and branches. Unlike woodpeckers who climb up trunks and branches to look for insects, white-breasted nuthatches sometimes hop onto a trunk or branch and spiral downward, head first. This might allow them to see insects that the woodpeckers miss. White-breasted nuthatches are blue-gray above and white below. They stay in our area all year, visit bird feeders, and nest in tree cavities. They remove the little bags of poop that their youngsters make so that their nests will stay clean. Song sparrows are small birds with brown or reddish-brown streaks. You often see them hopping in or near bushes. You sometimes can see them on bird feeders or eating seeds on the ground below feeders. Song sparrows stay in our area all year. A good way to identify them is by the dark spot on their chest. Whitethroated sparrows arrive in our area in the fall and fly north to nest in the spring. They look different from song sparrows because they have black and white stripes on their head and a yellow spot in front of their eye. Some of them have brown and tan stripes on their head. Darkeyed Junkos are sparrows, but they are mostly gray with a white belly and a pink bill. If you look closely, you can see that they have white edges on the sides of their tail, which flash out when they fly. Junkos look very round. Like the white-throated sparrow, they arrive in the fall and leave in the spring to fly north to nest. House sparrows are very common, and even though they are small brown birds like song and white-throated sparrows and have the word sparrow in their name, they are not in the same family. They were brought to the United States from England in the 1800s and released. They are considered an invasive species. Invasive species come from somewhere else and harm native bird species and the environment in the new places where they go. European starlings, like the house sparrow, are an aggressive invasive species also brought from England. Both starlings and house sparrows sometimes take over the nesting areas of native birds, and they harm crops grown by farmers. Starlings look like blackbirds and sometimes join into large flocks with them, but they are not in the blackbird family. They can mimic the sounds of other birds. They are called starlings because at some times of the year they grow new feathers that have small white dots that look like little stars. Housefinches used to live only in the western United States. Many years ago, they were illegally trapped in the West and brought to the eastern states to be sold in pet shops. They were sold as cage birds because many people liked their song. When some of the pet shop owners were punished for what they were doing, other pet shop owners set their illegally trapped birds free. Now, a lot of housefinches live in the east. The males look like a sparrow with a splash of red on the face and chest. The females do not have any red feathers. Almost everyone is familiar with rock pigeons, the pigeons you see in parks, cities, and a lot of other places. They are not native to the United States. They have learned to live in many areas created by people. Pigeons have a remarkable ability to find their way home, even if taken someplace far away. They stay in our area all year, and they lay eggs and raise young through much of the year. Mourning doves get their name because their cooing sounds mournful, which is another word for sad. They also make a sound with their wings when they fly. They are native to our area, and they stay here all year. Mourning doves frequently come to bird feeders. They are larger than a lot of the birds who visit feeders, so if they can't easily perch in order to get the food, they will peck at seeds spilled on the ground under the feeder. American goldfinches are one of the prettiest birds who visit feeders. In the spring and summer, the males are bright yellow with a black cap and black wings. The females are brownish yellow. They have black wings but no black on the head. In the fall and winter, the males lose their bright yellow feathers and grow feathers that look like the females. The eastern bluebird is another pretty bird. The adult male's back looks like the color of the sky on a clear day. He is mostly rusty orange underneath. The adult female is not as brightly colored. Her back is bluish gray, but she is also rusty orange below. Some bluebirds live in our area all year. For many years, the population of bluebirds declined because they did not have enough cavities in which to build their nests. Because a lot of people put up nest boxes for them, their numbers have increased. There are many bluebird trails with nest boxes in the eastern United States. Barn swallows swoop through the air catching insects while flying. The adults are dark blue on the back, a dark tan color below, and have dark brownish orange on their throat and face. Their tail is deeply forked in a U shape. Barn swallows fly south in the fall and return when the weather gets warm in the spring and a lot of insects are flying around. They build nests out of mud and put them in barns, under bridges, and in other covered areas. This barn swallow appears to be looking at something fascinating. I hope you have been fascinated by the birds in this video and will be inspired to look for the many fascinating birds where you live.